All right, welcome to Life Fit with DVD. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. Um, Volume looks like it's a bit higher today. I didn't realize it had gone down at all, so uh, I hope that's not an issue for people. But it seems the volume is fixed, and I'll just try to be a little bit more mindful of that going forward. But today I wanted to talk about our imagination. Is your imagination a gift or a curse? And I was talking about this with a friend yesterday. It was very interesting to kind of get into, looking at certain places that we have been before, and new places that we have been as well, and looking out and saying, oh, what is going on in that place, right? Um, you know, Basically, it was him talking about how he was driving into work, and he works, within the military, and he was going on to, a base, and he was thinking from an outside perspective, what are other people imagining is going on in here? Because what he's doing is just incredibly normal, routine office business stuff that is very mundane in general. And he just thought it was interesting because if he was a child still, he would imagine that there'd be incredibly either nefarious, shady stuff, or just really advanced, innovative things taking place on this base. And he was just saying that, no, it's just a job, right? Like anything else. And in looking at what, you know, is going on in reality versus what other people could be imagining, or as a child functions with their wild imagination sometimes. There's a big discrepancy. So if somebody's imagining something that is radically different from reality, is that an issue? Is that a good thing to have as a child, but maybe not as an adult? And if you are a child imagining these things, right? Usually these are pretty innocuous, right? They don't matter, right? You might just in your mind play games, and just imagine things happening, and it's exciting, and you have a good time playing in the woods as a child. That's what I did. That's what he did. It was our imaginations were running wild back then, and it was a lot of fun. I'm thankful to be able to grow up and have imagination, and to play, right, to just play and utilize that imagination for fun. But as an adult, right, how does your imagination manifest? Does it manifest? What I find is that a lot of people aren't very imaginative anymore. They can't really see what is going on with reality because of a lack of imagination. Because there's a lot of things that take place in this world that are true, things that are happening, but people don't see. And it's the lack of imagination and the lack of openness to a new, different idea that really holds people back from being able to understand different things. And so as an adult, what we were kind of talking about is, well, the things that are conspiratorial, right? Are they true? Are they true, or is it literally our imagination is just running wild like a child's would? And you know that's going to be a different answer for everybody. But what it comes down to is when you look at some of the things that might be considered conspiratorial, right? When you go down that path and you look at them and you look at what it's discussing, not even looking at the truth of it all, but just looking at the idea of it all and exploring the idea of could this be possibly true in some way, and what impact would it have on my life and my worldview? Does it have an impact? Right? It might not. If it doesn't, right? It's just an idea. It's just a story. Okay? Just a story, right? But if it is something that could impact you, right, in some way, well, why wouldn't you explore it? What I find about humans in general, or just with how we are, is we are innately curious, right? When there's a door that says, oh, lock, don't go in there, right? Well, we start to wonder, well, what's in there, right? This is a just innate curiosity that we have as humans, that if we aren't questioning, right, if we aren't wanting to explore, I have to question if we really are human still, or are we being programmed to reject these things? And I think this can happen through our education system, what we're taught growing up, what our beliefs are of the people that we look up to, the authorities, right? If they aren't logical and questioning things and holding people accountable to that logic, to events, to situations, right? Are we going to be innately curious as well, or will we just dismiss these things and not think twice about them? Will it stunt our imagination? A lot of schooling nowadays does end up being very methodical in that it's standardized. There's a lot of standardized testing. The things that we learn in the classrooms really aren't all that useful to our daily life going forward. How often did I hear growing up that, oh, you won't have a calculator to do math in your back pocket when you grow up? And sure enough, we do. Now, I do enjoy having knowing math and knowing how to do these things as well. But I'm certainly use the technology that we have as well. So we need to be practical in our application of the things that we're learning and being curious about. And I think when it comes to learning, curiosity is a fundamental part of that. Being able to explore the things that you want to within certain domains of education, of course. And I think that we've gotten away from that. I think humanity has gotten away from the education and moved more towards the standardization, indoctrination in some cases, of just certain ideas, and that has stunted our imagination, right? So in looking at this as an adult, right, has having an imagination served me better than not, right? Has having imagination served me in a way that it's benefited me, and that is 100% correct, right? My life is better because I have an imagination, because I can take an idea and say, is this true? Could this possibly be true? What does this mean? Does it mean anything at all? Being able to be curious about all of these different ideas and worldviews and perspectives is incredibly important thing for growing yourself as a person, being creative, being able to envision, right, a better future for yourself, better health and well-being. And right, that gets back to our imagination, right? How do we get back to that, right? Are we playing? Are we doing things that embrace the unknown? Are we embracing the uncertainty? Are we embracing boredom? Are we taking the things, the times where we have silence and basically don't have a whole lot of stimulation from the TV or work or other people, and that can be people as well, but it depends what you're interacting about. And are we taking that time to create something new and beneficial with it? Or are we just taking that time to sit on our phones and watch TV and turn our minds off, right? Instead of letting our minds explore, letting our minds imagine, right? I find it way more fun to have an imagination, to be able to play with ideas, to be able to consider new things, to make my own decisions, to make my own choices. And that leads to an incredible amount of creativity. And yeah, sometimes, I'm incorrect on things that, I thought might have been true. But I think that's just the benefit of it, right? You can hold opinions on things and not have to feel, ashamed or embarrassed because, your imagination or your logic around that may have failed you, right? And I feel like a lot of people do feel, some sort of fear or shame around, letting their imaginations explore in a beneficial way, not in a way that we've been programmed to explore, which focuses on a lot of negativity, right? A lot of negative or destructive ideas. We want to be using our imagination for growth, not destruction, right? And the programming that we receive from society frequently is very negative. So be careful what you're taking in. Talk about that a lot here on this channel. But ultimately, it comes down to how you are using your imagination. Are you using it for your own benefit, or are you letting it spiral out of control and bring you down, bring your life down, and create chaos and destruction? The choice is up to you. So choose wisely, right? And don't forget to play, right? Try to do the things that you might have enjoyed as a kid, when things were maybe a little bit more simple or slower. And I think focusing on these things is just, we need to get back to it, if we really want to start to get to the places that we want to be in our lives. And if you're not experiencing that excitement and that growth, right, you need to move back to the things that were fun, right? So ultimately, that's what it's about. The experience and the fun, and doing what makes us feel alive, right? And if our imagination is helping us do that, cool, right? As long as it's not at the expense of somebody else. So if you enjoyed this video, like or subscribe. That'd mean a lot to me. Let me know in the comments how you use your imagination. Are you an adult and you aren't playing anymore, or are you using your imagination in a beneficial way? How do you utilize it? It'd be interesting to hear. Yeah, until next time, thanks for being here, and talk to you later. Bye.